Now, the River State governors raised concern over the state's federal courts, saying his government is investing in federal judiciary infrastructure to reverse the trend. The governor said that since the creation of the state 50 years ago, the federal courts have been left in dilapidated state. The governor was speaking during a visit by the National Association of River State Students from the Nigerian Law School to Government House, Port Harcourt.
It's most unfortunate. You can see that we're talking about a state that has produced so much for this country. We are still embarking on federal projects that we're not supposed to embark upon. Take a look at the Federal High Court. Since River State was created, no project, no building has been put in place since that time. And after Lagos, in terms of litigation and commercial activities, it is Port Harcourt. Then you see where we are. And the federal government does not want to. But again, we cannot wait for them. We must have to develop our state. And so we took it upon ourselves to see that we have that structure that will have 6 new courts. We believe that if they agree, by the time they will commission it this May, as part of our 2nd year anniversary, we will also see where they will agree to demolish the old one and also erect another structure so that we can have as many courts in order to reduce the workload that they find in the present situation.
And Wabodo joins us now for business news.
Thanks a lot, Amarachi, and welcome to Business News. The Executive Director of the Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission, in charge of support services, Mr. Chidi Izua, has been speaking on some of the measures taken by the agency towards full disclosure of all public-private sector partnerships across Nigeria. Speaking at a meeting organized by the Commission in Abuja, Mr. Izua says full disclosure of all these contracts will help ensure transparency as well as woo more foreign and local investments into the infrastructural sector.
We're developing a disclosure guideline to ensure that when the government of Nigeria enters into public-private partnerships, that information about those contracts, what the obligations of government, what the obligations of the private party, their structural arrangement, it's transparently disclosed to the public. You know, we have the Freedom of Information Act. So this is also building on the Freedom of Information Act, and recognize that, you know, transparency is one of the antidotes, one of the trusts of the anti-corruption drive of the present government. So this is to promote transparency in public-private partnership contracts between the federal government of Nigeria and private entities to ensure that those contracts are fully disclosed and known by Nigerians.
Given that Nigeria has been doing a lot of PPPs, and unless, you know, there are a lot of stakeholders in the PPP process, as you know, and unless more information goes out into the public domain, the stakeholders may not have the level of comfort, especially the investors. If you want to invest in a particular project, you want a level of comfort that all the procedures being followed, all the activities being done by the MDAs as well as ICRC are, you know, transparent, and they are conducive to private investment.
The African edition of the World Economic Forum in Durban, South Africa has ended today. The Chief Executive Officer of Diamond Bank, Uzoma Dozie, spoke to us on the importance of financial inclusion.
Well, I think the takeaway is that I think WEF and most countries are concerned about financial inclusion. There are more people outside the formal sector than in the formal sector. And I think it has been established that without being outside the financial system is very expensive, and it doesn't give people opportunity or countries to grow. And so it's how do we address that? How do we address that problem? And so that's what we're talking about. How do we? And from our perspective, was like a lot of collaboration is required amongst banks, telcos, and also the regulators, understanding and putting in place policies that will help facilitate financial inclusion.
Nigeria's stock market recorded its 4th straight gain this week at the close of trading today, while also posting its biggest volume turnover overall. Chimezie Obiwagu has the details.
Hello and welcome to the Stock Market Report. The last trading day of the week at the Nigerian stock market saw the bulls holding firm on their grip on the market throughout the week. Despite heavily capitalized Nigerian breweries shedding weight in Friday's trading, the gains recorded by Dangote Cement and 7-Up did not allow the bears to enter the market. The all-share index closed higher by 0.26% at 26,235.63. But the market capitalization has not left the 9 trillion naira mark. The preference for O&O and Zenith Bank shares by investors boosted the total volume of shares traded to over 442 million, valued at about 2.96 billion naira in just 4,220 deals. And the top 3 trades for the day were O&O, Zenith Bank and Medview Airlines. Out of the 28 stocks that gained in price, airline services gained the most in percentage terms, followed by NACO and Fitson. On the flip side, however, Champion, Medview Airlines and Sterling Bank were the top 3. And that was the stock market report. I'm Chimezie Obi Iwago.
Thank you, Chimezie. Well, Wall Street's and European stock markets ended this week higher in the green. That's after U.S. reported solid job growth for the month of April, while investors look ahead to a key election in France on Sunday. But let's see the figures. That's business news on the last trading day of the week. Thanks a lot for watching. I'm Anne Nwawadu. Back to you, Amarachi.
Thanks a lot, Anne. Distinguished shareholders of Fidelity Bank have approved the audited financial statement presented for the year ended December 2016. The approval was given at the 29th annual meeting of the Nigerian Stock Exchange, listed company in Lagos.
For Fidelity Bank, 2016 was a year with mixed grill, but in spite of the economic headwinds, a gross earning of 152 billion naira arising from interest income on loans was reported for the period.
The joint external auditors, Ernst & Young and PKF Professional Services.
This 29th annual meeting provides shareholders the opportunity to approve the director's report as well as other ordinary businesses such as a 14 kobo dividend per share.
The financial position of the bank as at 31st December 2016.
Following that approval, the chairman, Mr. Ernest Ebi, explains how the bank plans to sustain business growth through technology.
We are spending a lot of money in enhancing our technology to deliver quality service to our customers. Our focus is our customers. In Fidelity Bank, we are customer-centric. So this is why we have really done a lot in that regard to provide you first-class service.
The meeting ended after some of the executive directors were successfully elected to the board, and their commitment to profitability is explained.
And as I did mention in the AGM that Fidelity Bank is customer-centric, and we're able to deliver effective and quality service to our customers.
We recovered about 800 million by newly introduced electronic banking products. So if we were able to recover by about 800 million, it then means that this year alone we should be able to double that, ramp up, and we'll continue to innovate.
With some profit, shareholders look forward to brighter years ahead.
The fact that they are given 40 kobo, which even some of the banks in the first tier are not given, is very commendable.
So it's for them to bake a bigger cake, so that by next year we are meeting, we will have a bulkier pocket.
Objectives of the bank is to really de-risk the asset base of the bank, okay, so that the bank can really earn quality earnings, so to say.
2016 was a challenging year for the Nigerian economy, but with projections now looking positive, Fidelity Bank looks forward to sustaining its growth trajectory.
Samsung Electronics West Africa, a leading international provider of electronics, has launched a new smartphone model called Samsung Galaxy S8 and S8 Plus. At the product launch, the managing director of Samsung Electronics West Africa, Mr. Paul Lee, said Samsung Electronics is pioneering the future of smartphones in Nigeria with a high-definition technological innovation.
Samsung Galaxy S8 and S8 Plus, the new smartphone model with proven high-definition technology. The phones are imbued with iconic designs, Gear 360 camera with autofocus for selfies.
I will, however, be capturing those precious personal moments on my new S8 Plus. A device that I'm sure has caught the world's imagination. If you look at the recent press reports from bloggers, from tech and analysts, as well as from the public, the product is receiving rave reviews, and worldwide we are beating all the forecasts that we planned.
For the managing director, Samsung Electronics West Africa, customers are in for an exceptional experience.
We have taken the proven technology and formula, creating the devices and ecosystem which will provide our valued customer with an exceptional experience.
Experts of Samsung products, including its brand ambassador and top pop singer Banky W, get into a panel discussion.
And this S8's capabilities is even stronger than what the S7 did.
With the autofocus on both the back and the front camera, in this age of selfies, even with limited lights, you can take the best pictures.
With the launch of Samsung S8 and S8 Plus, which comes with an ecosystem for easy content navigation and meeting purposes, the manufacturers of the Samsung Galaxy S8 and S8 Plus seem set to offer the Nigerian market a unique lifestyle and customer experience.
Barely 24 hours after the Supreme Court commenced hearing on the leadership tussle between the Ali Modi Sharif and Ahmed Markafi factions of the People's Democratic Party, the women's wing of the party is asking members to accept whatever the Apex Court's verdict would be. A spokesperson of the group, Mrs. Aisha Aliyu, made the appeal in Abuja, stressing the need for the party to put its house in order before next year, when there will be excessive political pressure. The PDP Caretaker Committee Chairman, Senator Ahmed Markafi, has appealed the Port Harcourt judgment, which reinstated him as the national chairman of the PDP, thereby bringing to a halt all efforts to settle the problem in-house.
We read of many cases that have received the attention of the Supreme Court recently, and commend the desire of the Apex Court to speedily dispense the highly political and contentious cases ahead of 2018, when there will be excessive political pressure on the system. We trust that justice will not be unduly delayed nor denied in all instances. We wish to remind women of the PDP to stay focused and committed, expanding the political space for women and rebuilding the PDP from its base, even in the face of a protracted leadership tussle at the center. Furthermore, the women call on the party faithfuls to accept with a sense of commitment to the rebuilding of the party, whatever the outcome of the case before Supreme Court. The PDP will always remain larger than any individual or a group of persons.